Hello everybody and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about Valorant Ranked, the problems, how to make it better, episode 4, etc. Okay, so the first thing that I want to go into, I'm not sure why it says July here, this is from December, but this is the December Valorant rank distribution, rank disparity. Okay, so as you can tell by looking at this chart, from Platinum 1 all the way down to Iron 1, this is 90% of the player base. 90%. Okay? 90% of the player base is in this bracket. So that means that Platinum 2, 3, Diamond 1, 2, 3, and Mortal and Radiant, those are all considered technically the high ranks in the game. Because that is 10% of the game. What I want to get into about that is the fact that any game that has a competitive ranking system, the player will be rewarded based on how much time they play the game. So if someone is constantly playing the game of Valorant and they average like a 45 or a 48% win rate minimum, they will continue to go up the ladder. It doesn't matter if they are getting better, you know. It doesn't matter if they're getting worse. It doesn't matter if they're at the same skill level they were in gold. They will continue to go up. And Valorant, funny enough, is the first game that had a ranking system that meant completely nothing. You know, if someone were to tell me that they're immortal or they're radiant, I don't know what that means anymore, you know? That's not impressive to me. Immortal and radiant, when people ask me the difference, I tell them that the only difference between immortals and radiants is that one person went on a win streak and the other didn't. And to be honest, I think that's a good example. Um, there's no direct skill increase per ranked. There's no difference. You know, if an immortal player were to make fun of someone for being diamond, they're not allowed to do that technically because, in my opinion, that's on the same spectrum. There's not a lot of difference in that gameplay. The only true difference from Iron 1 to Radiant is probably the time to kill, right? So, you know, maybe the mechanics are a little better, right? But again, I know I'm ranting a little bit, but I think that there either needs to be another rank added or there needs to be some sort of like face it ESEA type higher pug system because ranked is unplayable right now. It's borderline unplayable. The only reason that people play ranked is just, you know, to pass the time or to stream content, right? I don't think anyone can really enjoy playing ranked right now. Um, and it kind of comes down to the fact of that small, you know, kind of selection pool of, you know, the people in the Immortal and Radiant rank. You know, I think there were 26,000 Immortals last act. And out of that 26,000, 13,000 of them were people who were Immortal 0 RR. So it's like, you know, are those people even playing the game? Are those people scared they're going to D-rank so they don't queue anymore, right? You know, um, and I know that's a big problem is, you know, the professional players who, you know, who stream to thousands and thousands of viewers who complain about how bad ranked is and how bad their teammates are and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's valid, right? Why is that hitting the highest rank in the game meaningless and it doesn't change anything about, you know, the quality of the team you get in? Yes, there's going to be situations where you get, you know, a nice stacked team, whatever. But again, we don't really want to focus on that. We want to focus on, you know, the more common, you know, variable, which is not having that. Um, and that goes hand in hand with Riot's vision with the game. When Riot introduced Neon, they gave Neon a like electric tunnel ability, which is basically 2 Phoenix walls, and they gave her 2 stun grenades or whatever it is that stun people. So something that Riot had mentioned a while ago was how when agents are introduced, they want to try to stay away from like duplicate abilities, right? So 2 agents that come to mind when I see Neon are Breach and Phoenix. when you introduce something like Neon, that immediately makes me think that Phoenix and Breach will never be touched. They will never be, fixed or toyed with, because what's the point? Here's Neon, this flashy new super running fast person. Look, I'll play with this. You know what I mean? It's like, why is Phoenix kicked to the curb? Why is Breach kicked to the curb? Why are their abilities, not necessarily copy and pasted, but, why does she have a better Phoenix wall? Why does she have a more unique Breach stun? Why is the stun still in the game? How is it that on Breach you can use your fault line and your ult to outplay people who are poorly positioned or, not aware of the amount of utility you have, and they continue to fight through the stun? Do you notice that? Do you notice that when someone is breach stunned, they don't like run, and like hide behind something and take cover. They'll like continue to fight because they know how easy it is to get a kill through it. You know what I mean? So, you know, what is the idea behind that? Are we just gonna keep spamming agents like it's League of Legends? Or are we gonna, kind of like break it down? I'm not saying that every agent has to be meta. I understand that, but I think that it comes to the question of, like, what is even playable, right? Because the reason that Phoenix isn't picked, in my opinion, it's not that he's necessarily bad. It's that everything else is so much better. You know what I mean? Why would you play Phoenix when Sky exists, right? Why would you play Omen when Astra exists? Why the fuck would you play Breach when any initiator exists? Breach can't gather any info. Breach doesn't even have a flash. When Breach uses his flash through a wall, it's just a warning that someone is going to peek. You're not going to get blinded by it. It's just a warning that someone's going to be in that peeking that corner in a second. Um, so, you know, that confuses me as well. Now, let's get into my rank statistics. So last act, I have it written here. I had 130 wins and 110 losses. I was Radiant number 356. Not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. My statistics, 135 ADR, and I had a 1 KD. So this is not that good for, like a ranked player. You know what I mean? Like these numbers should be higher. And to a point, the reason I think that they're at this, level is because of the agents that I play, right? The Breach, the Viper, the KO, the Astra. We're going to get into Raze in a second here. But what I want to inspire with this breakdown video and, the people watching it is ranked shouldn't be 5 people insta-locking and rushing a bomb site every single round of the fucking game, just trying to speed run a win or a loss. In the higher ranks of Immortal and Radiant, the game should be taken more seriously and it should be played at a higher level, because that type of gameplay is stuff that you should see in gold, and like platinum and silver, right? Like a low game IQ, bad mechanics, and like that's the best they can conjure, right? In Immortal and Radiant, I think that we should take ranked more serious, and this is like a system where it trickles down the ladder. So, I'm sure that any of your pro favorite streamers, right? I don't need to name any names, you can immediately think of one that you watch. You've probably heard the phrase, "Oh, these guys really want it. They want it more." Oh man, these guys are trying like it's VCT, and when that phrase is used, situation one is either they were outplayed. Situation two is, the enemy team is working better as a team together than the team that they are on. And the reason that that's bad is because that inspires the trickling, right? Now it goes down the ranks, the immortal, the diamond, the plat, the gold. It goes all the way down. And now you will be made fun of for being good at the game. Not even like laughed at, but made fun of. When the fuck did that become something to do? Making fun of somebody that they're good at the game? Bro, you're trying so hard, man. I have my I have my e-cigarette here. I have my Truly. I'm laid back in my chair, just chilling, bro. We don't need to try this. When did that become a thing? When did that become a thing, bro? This isn't like some casual bullshit, bro. If you make it into Immortal and Radiant, on paper you're supposed to be good at the game, so fucking respect yourself and act like you are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just sick of it. I hope that someone else feels this way. And by the way, before I keep going, each little thing that I've touched here, if you have a thought or an idea, please leave a comment or please, build off of mine, break mine down, because I really do want to have a lot of like discussion about this. And if there is enough discussion, I'm going to make a new video kind of responding to the discussion. So, please, take a second, leave a comment about, what you agree on, don't agree on, building off of one of my points, breaking one of mine down, right? But yeah, I want rank to be sweaty. I want rank to be hard, you know? I want rank to be something where everybody's sitting up in their fucking chair having a good time trying to win because that's what should be fun. That's what should be fun, winning. I have never ever seen anything like it. These people posting these scoreboards on Twitter about how they lost a game but they had 20 kills on a duelist. No help, LeBron James. Like, no, bro, you're not LeBron James, man. You probably didn't talk. You probably baited. You probably got no impact frags. Like, don't get me started on that shit. How about we work together, make a good game plan, calm, be positive, right? Like, it just, we're never going to get that ESE air face it that I brought up earlier. We're never going to get that. So, if ranked is what we have, the bitching and the complaining and the crying and the not taking it seriously is only going to make it worse. So, why not make it better? It's in our hands, you know? It's in our hands. Okay. But anyway, with ranked being a problem, because it is a problem, there's only so much you can do. I have written down here some interesting statistics. So I kept track of the times that I got team diffed. Okay, so let me explain to you what a team diff is. When I personally felt that I got team diffed, no matter what agents we picked, no matter how well we played, no matter if we were positive or negative, I believe that the game was lost before it even began. And you've probably heard of something like that, like a coin flip game, right? Where no matter what you could have done personally, you would have lost. So this is what I have written down here is losses to team diff. 74 out of my 110 losses were to team diff, okay? 74 out of my 110 losses were team diff. I had a 67% chance in rank to get team diffed. And now let me tell you what a team diff isn't. If someone goes fucking 6-20, but they're talking the entire game, they're trying to make plays, they're staying positive, they're giving good comms, bringing up ideas, maybe they have a couple impact frags. That's not a team diff if I lose that game and I have that person, having a bad game. That's not a team diff. None of these team diffs were people having bad games. Team diffs, okay, were something where someone is in a rank that they shouldn't be, and it's blatantly obvious based off of the way that they play their agent, the way that their comms are, stuff like that. If someone has a bad game, they're never going to go down on my list as a team diff, right? A team diff is somebody who's yelling racial slurs. A team diff is somebody who is not talking at all because they're upset, they got offended. That should just never be in the higher ranks, right? And of course, it always will be, you know what I mean? But again, we want to stray away from that shit. We don't, nobody wants to play that game, where like you don't even want to bring up, points or topics of discussion because you feel like people are going to get offended and they're going to shut down and they're going to mute you and they're going to run it down and they're going to throw. It's just cringe. Now, another statistic I have here is losses to Chamber teammates. So, when Chamber was released in Act 3, Episode 3, what did people do when Chamber was released? They locked Chamber. I have no utility on this agent. I have no knowledge of how this agent works, but I'm gonna play it in the highest ranked possible at a 20% effectiveness, and I'm gonna shit the bed, go triple negative, and lose my team the game. This is what a losses to Chamber teammate means. Okay, so again, he didn't come out as the act started, but here we have, I had a 30% chance to lose a ranked game based off the fact that I had a chamber on my team. Think about that, okay? Now, chamber is a sentinel, which means he probably isn't picked as much as a duelist. So now when Neon is introduced, somebody who can just run really fast and shock you and slide like it's a war zone, that is going to be tenfold what this is. Okay, tenfold what this is. I would have lost 100 games last act if Neon was available. Because Neon is a duelist, Neon will be picked more. Neon's more fun! Okay, how on God's green fucking earth are you allowed to do that? How is there not a week where Neon is in the game but not in competitive? How is there not 2 weeks where Neon is in the game and not in competitive? How the hell is Neon taken and dropped into the ranked pool and everybody watches like it's the fucking Hunger Games? They fight over, they're running it down, they're spamming util. How the fuck are you expected to win a rank game? This is what I mean where people don't take it serious enough in the Immortal and Radiant bracket. And the thing that I say when I bring up seriousness is, I'm sure everyone has heard the phrase, thinking outside the box. So what we want to do is, we don't want to 5 rush every round. We don't want to fight with our teammates, right? We want to think for a second and say, okay, I want a support role. How do I have impact without shooting my gun? Do I develop a, good, better set of utility? Do I work on my comms and my understanding of the game? I'm not saying you have to be a superhuman IGL, but you got to understand how the game works, how pacing works, how sequencing works. What's right, what's wrong, what's a good option on a good round, or what's a good option on a round based off of what the other team has. If they have 5 ults, why would we rush? They have more utility than us at the start of the round. We should work the map. Maybe work a first blood. Maybe get some map control. Maybe lurk. But we can't do any of that. We can't do any of that because that's cringe. That's cringe. The guy with an anime profile picture on Twitter and a name where he just typed in random word generator is using his e-cigarette and drinking a Truly with his fake chains and fake earrings in, and we're cringe to him. See where I'm getting at? Do you think that Sore Xander and Sore Cryo, who are now not on that team anymore, do you think that they run it down in ranked every round? No. Xander is someone who is very vocal. He will try to set everyone up to, have impact in a round. I'm not saying that he is a IG. I mean, he is an IGL, but it's not like he uses his own strats and ranked. You know what I mean? He just thinks. And then he duos with someone who is kind of the opposite of him. I'm not saying that Krausel's doesn't think, but I'm saying, Krausel's is just some fucking mechanical gift of God that'll just fucking 1v5 every single round if he needs to, right? So, if you have Xander setting Cryocells up, that's a really, really good situation to be in. So again, that's kind of like how this whole rank thing should work, is maybe the support players will set up the duelists. Maybe everybody will be vocal, maybe everybody will be positive, maybe everybody will take it more serious. Because that's how we stray away from this dark, dark, dark hole that we are in right now of pressed up against the spawn barrier, running it down, okay? So, what I have here are my win percentages, okay? So, as you can see, Astra, KO, Viper, Breach, I average around like a 60% win rate on these support agents. Do I play these very often? Have I played these for teams or whatever that I've been on? Yes, I do understand those 4 agents better than, 99.9% of people who play this game. But what I have written down here is Raze with a 36% win rate in ranked. In my opinion, my Raze is my best duelist. I used to be like a Raze player per se, like when the game came out. So I have a lot of time invested on Raze. My utility is good, you know what I mean? I understand how to take fights. I'm not bad at the game. But when I lock duelist and I try to have these takeover games of 20, 25, 30 kills and I'm losing, it's because I'm having less impact than I would on these agents. On these agents, I can use utility to set my teammates up better, making kills come easier for them. I could be a lot more vocal because I don't have to focus on my crosshair as much, as someone who maybe is going in first or, expectant to get a first blood or map control, right? So what I'm advertising here to the viewer is maybe instead of trying to insta-lock a duelist to have, you know, average to good impact, maybe you should think outside the box and think about your best case to win the match. If you have Soar Xander and Soar Cryocells and Wardell on your team, and you're hovering Jet and you insta-lock it because you have a quicker computer than them, that's probably not a good thing, is it? Because those two people play Jet better than you, and they have made more money playing than Jet than your entire family tree has generated. So again, you want to assess your win condition, right? Would it be good if I play support here on this map? Am I good at playing support on this map? Would it be better if I play duelist on this map because I'm not good at playing support, right? So again, we want to be critically thinking and breaking it down. Now, I have a couple clips to show you guys on, why ranked is, not good. So these are just a couple things that I've gathered, just by playing the game, and I think that it's very impactful. Now, if you see a name or hear a voice, this isn't about them personally. It's just about the idea, right? So we'll start with this.
Top of 410.
Last player standing.
So let's break this down. Let's break this down.
410.
So we have a player who is shooting before his crosshair is on the opponent, and he is also not looking at him. So this is just, a panic. I understand, he had to flick to try to get this kill. But the true problem lies in his comm.
Last player standing.
So instead of saying, someone pushed me through the wall, I'm not saying that Bouncy Bear would have won this 1v4 on 50 health. But again, he doesn't make a quality comm here, Instead, what he does is he's extremely embarrassed by whiffing 24 bullets on a person not looking at him. So he makes up a random excuse about how he ran out of mousepad space and laughs. That's a problem. That's a problem, right? So our next one
could
here.
be Hall too. I gotta check it.
So let's go ahead and look at this frame. So this player is holding the sand where potentially a crab or some sort of beach-dwelling insect could be. A player will never come out of the sand in this game. So what he should do is put his crosshair to the right more, maybe hold this. And the reason that I'm showing this is because this is an example of someone who shouldn't ever be in a high elo lobby. It's not anything personal to him. It's just the fact that this is the type of player that is constantly seen in, the Radiant Immortal 3 elo. Okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Mid. One mid. Close.
So he calls one mid close. He is not mid. This is bottom mid, at least. I would call this, concession, but it's fine. Just know the call out.
Hall looks good.
One enemy.
So we use 22 bullets in our Phantom. On top of him unable to track this person. So he's unable to track this person.
One enemy.
So he uses 22 bullets to kill. Oh, fuck. Anyway, you know what I'm getting at. So next we have a Raze muting me here. So before we get into the clip, I want to explain the backstory. We're 15 seconds into the round. I started outside of A. Oh, you can't really see it. I'm sorry. Forgot about that. So we have 15 seconds into the round. I started outside of A here, and I'm now walking back sewer, just trying to regroup with my team. We lost the pistol round, so I have a classic no armor, no utility, just like everyone on my team.
Reloading.
My Raze gets killed from the rope.
Dude, why are you just standing there?
So when he dies, instead of making a call out, instead of doing anything impactful, he decides to complain that I am the reason that he died.
Like, why are you holding that when I'm
Keep,
pushing
keep
mail?
talking. Just keep talking. while you're doing it.
Nah, I'm just gonna mute you and be
You
over
should.
with it.
You should. You're a toad. So, you know, this is kind of on me as well, you know, because I tell him to keep talking. Like it matters, you know. That's the reason I said that. But this person is ready to go to war and die on a hill fighting the fact that he is right and I am wrong on the second round of a game. And now the game is over. We have lost. Me and Raze are butting heads. He now has me muted. He will now throw this game and I lose. That's an example of a team diff, right here. That's an example of a team diff. So this is an example of what I was talking about earlier with the big streamers, right? Because I'm not saying that it's their fault, but when they show this behavior and when they use this, you know, vocabulary, now all the viewers learn it and they apply it in their own game.
Flawless. Defenders win.
They just wanted it more, I guess. Unlucky guys.
So he says they just wanted it more, guys. Unlucky, I guess. GG. So instead of addressing all the problems that he caused this game, maybe lurking on Sky, not knowing how to play Sky, not using his util effectively whatsoever, he now thinks that we lost this game because the enemy team wanted it more. I mean, what the fuck is that? They wanted it more? What does that mean, sir? You can't play on 30% energy doing absolutely nothing on the agent that you pick and then say that. That's not allowed, okay? So again, you know, these are just a couple little things of, you know, why ranked is bad. And again, you know, to summarize this whole thing, you know, how do we fix this? We try harder, you know. Stray away from, you know, the character that I created that's using his e-cigarette and he's drinking a Truly, you know, and he has a whatever, right? I'm not making fun of you for any anime profile picture. There's nothing wrong with that. I had an anime profile picture at one point, but I'm just describing the type of person that he is, okay? We want to stray away from his ideology of playing the game at a good level and playing the game, you know, properly is cringe, rush and die. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can do that if you want to, you know, be platinum. Or you can use the pink organ between your ears and fucking think. But anyway, I just wanted to rant about this because, again, it's bad news out there. So if you're crewing ranked, be safe. Seriously. Wear a fucking mask inside. You know what I mean? Like, stay in touch with your cardiologist about your blood pressure. I'm TDAWGG. I got nothing else for you. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. Deuces.